Hi, everybody. Welcome to another segment of My Child, My Voice, Kid Connection. I'm sorry, not Kid Connection, Parent Connection. I am so excited with Kid Connection. I actually say both shows because we were talking about the Autism Month. So if you hear me say that, that just comes out. My name is Wendy Gonzalez, Neal. I'm the executive director and founder of My Child, My Voice, and also the Texas delegate for the National Parents Union, which this show is sponsored by the National Parents Union. We are so excited today. We have a special guest, a friend of mine that I've been working alongside, a powerhouse dad and person that is doing a great job here in Texas. But before we go into that, I wanted to catch up on some local news or some statewide news here in Texas. First of all, I wanted to remind everybody about the National Parents Union convening, which is Saturday, May 15th. We have our very own special guest, Dr. Bernice King, which we're excited that she'll be there. This is an invitation only, familia. If you're interested in going and being a part of this great convening, which you're going to learn so much and actually connecting with other organizations, connecting with families, parents who are advocates making change across our nation. If you're interested, contact me. I can give you a golden ticket so that you can come to our convening. You can reach me at wendy@mpunion.org. I am wearing our shirt that we will be wearing. And if, gotta have these shirts, man. These are hot right now. The next thing I wanted to bring up is about our legislation. We have been talking about some bills that we've been following here at MPU. One of the bills that I wanted to bring up is Senate Bill 346, which was created by Senator Paxton. This is the one getting charters access to the career and technology, what we call JET, giving them more money on this piece. The status as of April 14th, it was voted out of the Senate Higher Ed Committee, and it's now being referred to the International Relations and Economic Development Committee. Sorry, that was a long word. As it always is in legislation. Right now it's sitting there. That can change any day. Just wanted to let you know just a few updates. We will keep giving you updates on these bills. If it hasn't changed, if we haven't mentioned it, it's because it's still sitting. Remember, as we mentioned, these bills go through stages, and this is where this stage is going to. And we're excited to talk about with my next guest because he has some bills that I know that they are following. And why is it important that we need to actually follow these particular bills? But before I do, I don't know if everybody's noticing, I'm wearing some really cute earrings. I have to bring this out. These are my favorite clay earrings. This one's from Chigona Clay SA. All right. Mi hermana, Dalia Contreras in San Antonio. Not only is she a powerhouse that's making changes in San Antonio, she is an empowered woman that's making changes in education as well. Not only making these beautiful earrings, but I wanted to let everybody know if you're interested, because I told her I would shout her out that you can purchase her jewelry. She's on Instagram. You can find her in Chigona Clay SA. All right. Hermana, I got you covered. I shouted you out because you're doing some beautiful work and you're doing some great work in San Antonio. Keep it up, hermana. All right. So now we're up for our next guest. I hope he's just, hyper as I am right now because he's here. I have to say that my next guest, I have privileged to work alongside with him. He's a father. He has been doing some great work with the Libre Initiative. He is the Texas Coalition Director. And also who I call my friend, and that's George Martinez. Let's bring him along. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me, Wendy. It's a pleasure to be with you.
It's always a pleasure seeing you. How are you doing?
Doing well. We're in the middle of legislative session, so things are busy. I am home today, so I have my kids here. As you said, I'm a father. Just a pleasure to kind of give you an update of what Libre is doing and how we're following our bills here when it comes to education.
Yes, I mean, there's a lot going on, especially this session. I mean, it's been so crazy, this legislative session. I know across our country, but in Texas, it's been so busy. I know that you are working and doing a lot of work, but for those of us that don't know you, can you kind of give us a little background about who you are and, why are you, with Libre Initiatives? How long have you been with Libre?
Yeah, so as you said, my name is George Martinez. A little bit about me. I'm 32. I live in South Texas. I came to Texas from California. You don't have to feel bad for me. I came as soon as I could. Um, with my wife, going on 10 years of marriage here. We got two wonderful boys. They're crazy because they're young and boys, but I love them to death. My oldest is 4, my youngest is 2, and my oldest is actually at a public charter school here. It's his first year in pre-K 4. So we love it there. And I've been with Libre for going on 9 years now. We were founded in 2011. I joined in 2012. And our goal here is to kind of empower the U.S. Hispanic community to achieve their full potential. And we do that by breaking barriers on issues like education and economic opportunity in different aspects where policy is going to impact our lives. And we want to inform the community about those policies and how, as a grassroots organization, we can get involved and take action.
Yes. And can you remind us, what does libre mean? Not everybody knows what that means.
It means free. We want to live in a free and open society, one where you can achieve your American dream without having someone else tell you how to live your life, how to make your money, how to spend your money. You should be able to do that. So that's where free comes from Libre. It's more of a definitely one where you decide your freedom and your fate.
That's what I love about it. When I first heard about it, I was like, Libre, wait, explain me more here. So I know you've been working very hard and closely on policy, and can you tell us what is Libre's legislative priorities this session? And this, I know it's more regarding the education bills, but tell us, why are these particular bills so important right now, especially for our community?
Yeah, well, look, we do have multiple priority policy initiatives here this session, ranging from healthcare to economic bills and education. Obviously, education is really big in the Hispanic community. It's something that is in our homes, where we say how education will help us get out of poverty. I grew up in a home where my parents were farm workers, and it's something that my parents instilled in my sisters and my brother and I to pursue our education, because they felt that they didn't want the same lifestyle that they had for us. They wanted something better. And thankfully, my entire family, my siblings and I, we were able to pursue our careers, receive our respective degrees, and pursue our American dream. So that's why education is one of those main priority bills for Libre here in Texas and across the nation. But there's a lot of bills, and I know that we have a lot to go over them, but that's where we're at today and why it's important for Libre.
Okay. So which bills is it that you feel that it's important for our community to really follow?
There's all the education bills so far are moving as of April 14th. Everything has been moving along through the Senate and House committees. They're either in calendars, so that's always a blessing, because you don't want to see your bills die.
Right.
And so there's a few on virtual education, like Senate Bill 27. That bill is actually going to be heard in the Senate on the 15th. So we're looking to see what happens there, hoping that, like my kid here, he's working or going to school virtually. And we know that because of the pandemic, that really, it was something that other schools, they haven't done it. And because of the pandemic, it was something they had to figure out how to keep kids engaged in learning still. And for my family, we thought that learning virtually was the best option,
right,
for my child. However, my neighbor is an example that they thought that in-person learning, when that finally opened up, was best for them. That is a great thing. If that's what works for your child, do it. You should have the right to do that. But for us, we thought was best this year, at least, is to keep our child at home. So this virtual education bill would allow children to learn from home and allow ISDs and any education school here to have the capabilities to provide virtual education. So that's one of them.
Wow, that's awesome because I know a lot of families have switched to virtual education, especially here in Texas and in Houston. I know a lot of families decided to switch. So that is a good plus, knowing that we're getting more options and or keeping that option as well because we want to have more of that. What's another bill that you guys are following?
So there's a few on the Senate, Senate Bill 28 and House Bill 3279. So 3279. Senate Bill 28 is by Chairman Paul Bancourt, and House Bill 3279 by Chairman Harold Dutton in the House. These are bills that will level the playing field for ISDs and charter schools, basically prevents unfair discrimination against charter schools, whether a new charter school wants to have the ability to create a new campus. All that stuff kind of goes through the education board. That's what this is talking about. Basically, the Hispanic children in Texas make up over 62% of those enrolled in charter schools, my child being one of them. And we see that if there is a need, which obviously there is, we see Hispanic parents choosing charter schools, they should be able to have more options. So this bill, these two bills kind of talk about that. And there's another bill also that's an anti or preventing discrimination against open and enrolled charter schools by Representative Desotel. That's House Bill 1348. That one has left committee. It's been sent to calendars. And going back to Chairman Bencourt's, his bill has also passed committee and is in calendar. So these things are moving. But basically, there's also counties or cities that are preventing charter schools from being able to get permits for new facilities to expand. So there's a lot with that. And we believe that charter schools should be also treated like the regular traditional ISDs. So those are bills we're following right now. There's a few more though, if you want to hear them all out.
Yeah, let's hear them.
Okay. So there's Senate Bill 204. That's by Senator Charles Schwertner. That passed in the Senate, and it was now introduced in the House as of the 13th of April. That relates to the operation of public transportation, school transportation. So what does this mean? And there's also a House bill to that by Representative Dan Huberty, also left committee and calendars. So these things are moving. What these bills mean is if I have a child, or if you have a child that goes to a school district that is not in your zip code, it's another school district, that other school district should be able to use their transportation, so a bus, to be able to pick up your child where you live. So right now you can't do that. But if you do have that option, you can do that. So in the Valley, we do have open enrollment amongst traditional ISDs. So that's a great thing. I know that's not a big thing across Texas. We'd like to see that across Texas, but there is that existence here in the Valley. So if there's a child, well, there are many who I know last I heard was over 400 students in Mission CISD, and that's where I'm at, that don't live in the district. They're actually coming out from around the district. These parents of those 400 children will be able to get transportation if they want to from Mission CISD, whether they live in McAllen or in La Jolla, and they can transport them. And these are huge bills, and they're moving.
Yes, that is awesome to hear, because I hear that. I mean, having my youngest son, when he went to when he got accepted to a public charter school here in Houston, that was one of the things that we couldn't have, was we didn't have transportation. I lived on the outskirts of Houston, and my son was in his school campus was on the south side of Houston when I lived in Northwest. So it was like that transportation. So to have that would help so many families. So that is awesome to hear. What is another bill that you guys are following?
I think the last of the bills, you may be surprised, is House Bill 5 and SB Senate Bill 5, respectively by Representative Trent Ashby and Charles Anderson in the House. And in the Senate, it's by Senator Kelly Hancock and Senator Robert Nichols. These two bills have already passed, one in the House, the other in the Senate. Both have been introduced on the other chambers as of earlier in April. What these bills are is broadband access. Why is this important? There's two reasons for this. One is if we are doing virtual education, and there are many areas that are rural, or maybe parents can't afford high-speed internet, what these bills do is it allows options for broadband access. So these are moving. They've already passed their respective chambers, and we're hoping to see them pass through. Now, the other side of this on these broadband bills is the telemedicine. So I was talking about healthcare, and that's one of the areas that we're also talking about.
Right.
Telemedicine, if you want to see your doctor from home for whatever reason, or you're at the job site because you can't take a day off of work, but you can talk to your doctor over the phone for 10 minutes. The broadband access helps you in a location maybe where you don't have access to internet.
That's what was a big topic here in Texas, because it was a lot, and it's across our nation. I can't just say Texas. I mean, having that access, I mean, there was so many families that didn't have it. And even the connectivity. I mean, some people had it, but the connectivity was so weak because you have multiple kids now. If you have more than one kid, like you and me, I mean, I have 4 kids. I mean, you got all these devices, and it's like the connectivity goes down. So for them to work on something like this is huge for us. And especially, for the families to have that access and then not to be taken advantage of. I have to say, a lot of families cannot afford this, and a lot of them are like, but I want my child to be educated. I need to have this. This is something that I want them to have it, even though, to get them like going. And so I think this is great that our elected officials have thought of this. So everything that happened in this pandemic, I'm glad that they've sat down, listened to the community to hear that what are our issues that are happening, and actually seeing that too. Because I can't say, Senator Betancourt, I'm just going to shout it out. He is my senator. So I'm so excited with him because he is always passing these great bills. I've had the pleasure of supporting a lot of his bills that have come out into the committee. And so I applaud him for plowing this and all the other elected officials on there. And I'm so happy that you guys are following and keeping him based on that to make sure that it's there. Do you have families that, are you encouraging families to follow these particular bills?
Yeah, definitely. And before I answer that, I do want to say these bills you mentioned, Senator Betancourt, they're bipartisan bills. You have Chairman Harold Dutton, who's the chairman of his committee in public ed in the House. And I don't think that if it weren't for COVID, we would be seeing all this movement on education. So it's unfortunate that it took a worldwide pandemic to start seeing movement in Texas here when it comes to education.
Yes.
But now that we're here, we're seeing this movement. I think it's in the right direction, and we'll take things that obviously improve quality education. And so to answer your question on if we're encouraging parents or people to get involved, as a grassroots organization, that's what we do. We hit the phones, we hit the doors. We also have probably the easiest thing that anyone can do is if you're searching on your phone, watching this on your phone or on your computer, is go to thelieberinitiative.com, and we have an action center, and you can look up education, or if there's another bill there that or topic that you're interested in, you can sign a little petition, put your information there, and it goes to your representative, your senator, and it's a letter that says that you support this bill. So whatever that bill may be. So if it's something in education, we have that there. And you can go to belieber.org to do that, or thelieberinitiative.com.
That's very true. Very simple. It's on my phone. You can look it up, and it's easy for you to do that action item that George is talking about. I think that's great. But something I do got to bring up, my friends, is you recently wrote an op-ed that came out from the Houston Chronicle about Texas must take a lead on immigration. And I know you are so passionate about this. And I would like for you to tell everybody, why do you think Texas should take the lead on it? And what is Senator John Cornyn doing about it? I gotta put that in there.
Yeah. Look, I'm someone who was born in Monterrey, Mexico, raised, like I said, in California. My parents had already lived in the States. We all did it the right way. My parents did it the right way. I became a citizen in 2008. And education, I didn't think I was going to be involved in anything when it comes to policy, but this is also another topic of mine that's I'm passionate about. Basically, Texas should be taking the lead because this is an area that has been the hot point, the hot spot when it comes to any migrants coming over. And I live here in the valley where everything's happening. And I'll tell you that in early February, really didn't see a lot happening, but something happened in mid-February when what I've seen at the airports, just going at the airport, all of a sudden I got 25 unaccompanied minors on a flight being, transported to Dallas or Houston. It kind of, as a father, it hurts because I see these children and they're young. They don't know what's going on. And I don't know how my kids could do it like that by themselves. No way. I wouldn't be able to do that. So my heart does go out to them. Now, we share the longest border to Mexico. It's a big trading partner of ours. It's the biggest that we have. So the commerce is huge. And on top of that, what Senator John Cornyn has been doing, there's a few things, but one of the main things that what we really like about Senator Cornyn is his willingness to work across the aisle. He's got a few things he's done with my congressman, Henry Cuellar. They both have been trying to get some legislation passed, like the Humane Act. But I know that Senator John Cornyn, as I mentioned in that op-ed, wants to see a permanent solution for Dreamers, for DACA recipients. And when he was down here with the other 18 senators, he told me, he's like, we want to see something done, a permanent solution for DACA recipients, because these are people who were brought here no fault of their own as a child. These are people that are already working here. They were educated here. They're contributing to our society. So all they know is the United States. And these are people that are my age, maybe older. I know a few of them from my church who have their own businesses. And actually one of them is the one I mentioned in that op-ed. That's why I'm so passionate about this, and why Libre is taking a lead as we have been for many years. And I can keep going on and on about this.
I know you can, because it hits home and it hits all of us. I have family members, I have friends, I have neighbors. I mean, we see this, especially in Texas a lot, because we have the border towns. I mean, something does need to change. And when I read your article, and it's like, this is so true. I will put your article in the comment field for everybody to read if they like to take a chance to read that. And I know Senator Cornyn is actually another one of I have some powerhouse senators.
Yeah. And I do want to mention this. We also believe that we are a nation of laws. We need security at the border. I mean, like I said, I live here. I don't want my children to be at risk with some violent activity outside my house. Like, I want them to be able to walk around here and knowing that my kids are safe, as anyone else does down here. So whatever a solution looks like, because that's what we want both sides to work together. Because for longer than I've been alive, there's been nothing done on immigration, and that's unfortunate. So what we're saying is we need both sides, Democrats and Republicans, to work together, because one side or the other doesn't get to define what immigration looks like. So we need to find a solution on the immigration side, but we also need to find security along that. So if that means more infrastructure, if that means more Border Patrol agents or more technology or a mixture of all that, we have to realize that it's going to take both sides to find the solution, and both immigration reform with security involved in it.
That is so true. So do you think, and I'm going to ask an opinion, that the Democrats and the Republicans, because like you said, in Texas, change is slow. Do you feel that this time you're going to see that movement?
Well,
in your opinion.
Yeah. This isn't the first time there's been a surge at the border, and I don't think it's going to be the last.
Right.
Especially if nothing is done. So I'm hopeful there will be some changes. But the reality is that there's been some slow reaction right now. And we're willing to work with any side to help facilitate this and get this done.
Yep, that is so true. I mean, like you said, even with the education bills, unfortunately, it took a worldwide pandemic to make changes to see here in Texas. I mean, for these bills to even come through, it's like, water to us. Like, what? They're going through, it's amazing. But it's like, so what I've been saying as of this year, I feel like this year is the year of the voice, the year of the families, the year of immigrants, because I believe change is actually, that's my hope, is that this year, 2021, is change is happening now, because of everything we're doing. We're pushing, our eyes have been opened. Now I'm hoping that elected officials are now, their eyes are like starting to see, and then we're pushing all of this that needs to happen, not just in the state of Texas, but everywhere, for all of our families. And I'm just hopeful that this will go through, and knowing that, that it's going to be for the better.
Yeah.
And I am so thankful that you are one of them that are trying to make this change, the same as Leave It Initiative, to make that change for everyone. And so the last thing I would like to ask you is, since we've been talking about legislation, we've been talking about immigration, what tips do you have for families or parents, whether they're English, non-English, because we both, relate to that piece. What can they do this legislative session to help seeing something that what we talked about, what we mentioned tonight, what can they do to make change? How can they help?
I think what I see out on the ground as a person who I'm constantly talking to people in the community, people are obviously trying to make a living for their families, right? So not everyone has the time to volunteer. But I think, as I mentioned earlier, what you can do immediately and has an impact is sign that survey that we have on our website when you take action, when you go to libre.com, belibre.com.org, excuse me. There's a survey there that you put in your information. It sends that letter to your representative. That is speaking up your voice. The other thing is you can call your legislator, let them know, hey, this is something that worries me or that I'm in favor of. And they write that stuff down. And I'll tell you, when I'm meeting with legislators in Austin, they tell us we're hearing a lot about this certain bill from our constituents, or they'll say, we're not hearing anything. So I don't know if it's important to us or not, right? Like, they tell us that. So I think expressing your voice, your opinion, reaching out to your lawmakers is the easiest thing you can do. And if you do want to get more involved, go to our Facebook page, the Libre Initiative Texas. Leave us a message, and we'll connect you to someone in your area. Hopefully we have someone there. If not, you can do stuff from home. If you want to take more action, if you want to talk to more people from your house, we've got scripts available where you can make phone calls to people in your community or across Texas.
And is most of your scripts translated in Spanish?
Yeah, we do both English and Spanish because we talk to both sides of the community. I mean, anyone that we can reach out to talk about our message, we're going to do that. And if it's in English, it's going to be in English. If it's going to be in Spanish, it's going to be in Spanish. Now, if you're not comfortable doing that, we have scripts as well that you don't have to speak Spanish to, or vice versa.
That's what makes it so easy. And trust me, we both know that, because this is something that we both worked in the past where, like, look, I had a lot of families who are immigrants, especially in Houston. There's a lot of population of immigrants here, and a lot of them are scared to speak up, but they can make a change, by calling elected officials. And if you don't speak English, guess what? They have someone in their office that does speak English or Spanish or another language. I can't just say Spanish. Because I know here we have Farsi, Arabic, Mandarin out here in Houston. But the majority is a lot of families that speak Spanish. But your elected officials are here to represent you, us. So reach out to them, no matter what language which you speak. And two, if you are constituents of theirs, tell them that. They want to hear it. Like, George was saying, once you voice out, hey, I'm your constituent. The first time I went, spoke to Senator Betancourt, I was actually really intimidated because I was like, oh my God, this is a senator. And he was so down to earth, and I actually met him in Austin, and he was like, you're in my district. And then I'm like, yes, sir, I am. And then he's like, tell me what else is on your mind. And I really took that to heart, that knowing that my elected officials asked me, like, what else is bothering you? What else would you like to see change? How can I help you? Because that's what it should be. They represent us. So go out there, make those calls. If not, go to Leave It As Initiatives, Leave It Initiatives Texas and their Facebook page, and then go fill that out. They have all those tools and resources to help. And if you need help with that, call them. They can reach out to you and tell you how to do it. Right?
Sure can.
And so George, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show and being my guest. It is always a pleasure talking with you. I feel like, you're just, like I tell everybody, we're familia. You're like my hermano. So thank you so much for the work that you're doing and trying to push all of this for our community, not just in the state of Texas, but nationwide. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure to be here with you today and to have this opportunity to speak about what we're doing. And I can't wait to get me one of those shirts because they are
Yes, I love my shirt and I can't wait till you get yours. And that's the thing that we're going to bring up really quick before we just hop off is if you are interested, reach out to me, Wendy at npunion.org, to get your golden ticket invite to go to our National Parents Union convening, as I mentioned. Be part of this. It's on Saturday, May 15th. I will send you the link if you reach out to me. And Jorge, how easy was it when I sent you that invite to register?
It was pretty easy. I just clicked on the link and it took 30 seconds to put in my information. It says you're in.
And I'm so glad that he's going to actually be there because we're going to be meeting a lot of powerhouse parents and some new parents and some organizations and talking about some great work that we're doing. I want to see a lot of Houston families, El Paso. I want to see Mission, Texas people there too. I want to see people even from California, from Dallas, I know people from South Dakota all the way from Florida. I got my peeps everywhere. I want to see everybody. So reach out to me if you want to come to this convening. Be part of this experience. Be part of an organization that amplifies parents' voices. So I hope you can join us on that. Reach me. And if you want more information in regards to the National Parents Union, you can also go to our Facebook group page. We have the National Parents Union Texas region. We will be posting a lot of the information you heard tonight on these Texas legislative bills. We will be keeping you up to date on that, as well as following Libres bills as well. We will add that to our group so that you can, find out how that is going. Everybody, thank you so much for watching My Child, My Voice Parent Connection show. Make sure you watch us at our next segment. Everybody have a great night. Thanks. Bye.